All right, welcome back. In our last explainer, we talked all about homes that listen. You give a command, they react. But today we're exploring something so much more revolutionary. We're talking about homes that think. We're moving way beyond simple commands and into a future where our living spaces actually learn, adapt, and even anticipate our needs before we do.
Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some scene out of a sci-fi movie. This is the near future, and it's all powered by AI. We're talking about a fundamental shift here, from our homes being just passive shelters to becoming active, intelligent partners in our lives.
And this, right here, is the core difference. A responsive home is useful, for sure. You give a command, it acts. But an anticipatory home, that's transformative. It learns your patterns, your habits, and it acts for you, sometimes before you even realize you need something. This is where AI stops being a novelty and becomes an essential part of our environment.
So how does this all happen? Well, it starts by moving far beyond those simple commands. I want you to imagine your home not as a collection of separate gadgets, but as a single intelligent nervous system managing everything in the background without you ever having to lift a finger.
These three pillars, they aren't separate functions. You have to think of them more like a symphony of AI working together. Your home's ability to predict a maintenance issue is linked to its energy use, which is then informed by data from all of your connected devices. The real magic isn't in any single feature, it's in how seamlessly they all work together.
The crucial term here, the one you really need to know, is anticipatory intelligence. This is the concept that elevates a house with a few smart gadgets into a truly intelligent home. It's the difference between telling your thermostat to turn down and your house just knowing to lower the temperature because it recognizes you've left for work. It's a huge difference.
And here's the practical power of that intelligence in action. See, it's not just about convenience, it's about prevention. The AI isn't just watching what's happening right now. It's predicting what could happen and then acting to prevent a disaster. That is a profound leap forward in what we can expect from our homes.
Now, this level of intelligence, it isn't just some aftermarket add-on. No, it's fundamentally reshaping the blueprint of the home itself. So for any architects, designers, or builders watching, this is where things get really interesting. AI needs to be considered from day one.
We're moving from a static to a totally dynamic model of living. Your home office doesn't just have to be an office. With AI-controlled lighting, acoustics, and maybe even modular walls, it could transform into a calm reading nook in the evening or a vibrant creative space on the weekend. The space adapts to your life, not the other way around.
This forces architects to design with data and sensors in mind from the very beginning. Can you imagine building materials with intelligence literally baked right in? Or walls that respond to gestures, making light switches completely obsolete? This is all about using powerful algorithms to design spaces for optimal energy use, deeply integrating technology with sustainability.
Of course, this incredible future doesn't come without its hurdles. It's so easy to get carried away by the vision, but we also have to be pragmatic and address the very real challenges that stand in our way. So this is our reality check.
The four biggest hurdles we're facing are privacy, cybersecurity, getting different devices to talk to each other, and, of course, cost. But for each of these risks, the industry is already developing a focused solution. To counter data misuse, for instance, the focus is shifting to on-device processing, keeping your most sensitive information out of the cloud and in your control. The goal is a future that's not just smart, but also safe, secure, and accessible. And that brings us to the fundamental question we all have to ask ourselves. A home that knows you intimately can serve you in incredible ways, but it requires you to share an unprecedented amount of personal data. So where do you draw the line? This is a conversation that goes way beyond technology. It's really about our values. But as we navigate those challenges, the vision for our future habitat just becomes clearer and more inspiring. This isn't just about small improvements, it's about defining the next generation of what it means to live.
Right now, we're kind of moving from that today phase of reactive devices into the near future of anticipatory homes. But the ultimate vision, it's even bigger. We're talking about a fully autonomous living ecosystem that optimizes itself for our health, our well-being, and its own long-term sustainability.
And this is the most important thing to take away. We're not just talking about a better remote control here. The arrival of anticipatory AI in our homes is a genuine revolution in how we live.
The concept of home has always been a place of shelter and comfort. But as our homes begin to learn, to adapt, and to care for us in ways we're only just beginning to imagine, our very definition of what a home is and what it can be is set to change forever. So what does that future look like to you?
Let's be honest.
Forget everything you think you know about smart homes. We're about to go way beyond clunky apps and voice commands that, let's face it, never quite get it right. Today, we're going to dive into the next real revolution in how we live, what we're calling the intuitive habitat. This is where our homes finally stop being a collection of tools and start becoming truly intelligent partners.
So, let me ask you a question. Does your smart home actually feel smart? Or does it kind of feel more like a bunch of different gadgets that you're just constantly trying to wrangle? You know the feeling, right? You ask it to play a song and it pulls up the wrong artist. You try to set up a simple morning routine and there's always that one device that just refuses to play along. It's a frustration we all seem to share.
And that right there gets to the very heart of the problem. See, today's smart home is fundamentally reactive. It's just a box of separate things, lights, speakers, thermostats, all just sitting there, waiting for you to tell them what to do. They don't really talk to each other in any meaningful way, and they definitely don't understand the context of your life. But we are on the verge of a massive, massive shift, and it's all powered by artificial intelligence. See, the old way was all about responding to our commands. The new way? It's about anticipating our needs. Think about it. It's the difference between you having to say, hey, I'm cold, and your house already knowing you'll be cold in about 10 minutes and warming the place up before you even feel a chill. So this shift completely transforms the home from just a set of tools into something way more profound, an intelligent partner, one that's working silently in the background just to make your life easier and better. And this is where AI really changes the entire game.
I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the ultimate goal here. A living space that becomes a totally seamless extension of who you are. We're talking about technology that doesn't scream for your attention, but instead just enhances your world so effortlessly that it feels completely natural, almost invisible.
All right, let's put an official name on this idea, the intuitive habitat. The keywords you really got to remember here are learns, adapts, and anticipates. This is an environment that's constantly evolving based on your unique patterns, using AI to predict what you're going to need a lot of the time before you even realize you need it yourself.
So the big question is, how does any of this actually work, right? How does a pile of bricks and wood and wire actually start to think? Well, let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that's going to drive this whole thing.
It all really boils down to a pretty simple but incredibly powerful three-step loop. First, you've got a whole network of sensors, motion, temperature, light, sound, you name it, and they're constantly sensing and collecting data. Then, step two, the AI brain of the home takes this giant ocean of data and starts to analyze it, learning all of your unique patterns and habits. And finally, it uses those patterns to predict what you're going to need next and then acts on it, proactively.
Okay, so let's make this real. What does this actually look like in our daily lives? Well, imagine your car's GPS tells your house you're about 15 minutes away from home. On a cold night, the heat kicks on, so it's perfect the moment you walk in the door. Or picture the lights in your living room automatically shifting to a warmer, dimmer color as you start to wind down for the night, and you never have to touch a single switch. It could even see a heat wave in the afternoon forecast and decide to close the blinds on its own to keep the house cool.
And that same proactive intelligence, it completely revolutionizes home security. We're not talking about your camera sending you an alert because a cat walked by. No, this is security that actually understands context. It knows the difference between you, your friend who comes over every week, and a total stranger. It learns that your packages usually show up around 2 p.m., so it knows to flag a random van hanging out by your driveway at 2 a.m. as something genuinely weird that you should probably check out.
And, hey, beyond all the cool comfort and security stuff, there is some huge practical benefits here. The AI knows no one's upstairs, so it dials back the heat in those empty rooms. It learns that the cheapest time to run the dishwasher is at 3 a.m. when electricity rates hit rock bottom. And we're not just talking about shaving a few pennies here. These systems could intelligently cut a home's energy use by 15 or 20% a year. That's a huge savings for your wallet and for the planet.
Now, of course, with any technology this powerful, there's always a flip side. For all of its incredible promise, the intuitive habitat brings up some very, very serious challenges that we absolutely have to face head-on.
The promise is crystal clear. I mean, we are talking about a massive leap forward in 4 really important areas. Way more personal comfort, huge gains in energy efficiency, security that's actually proactive, and way more accessibility for people who might have mobility challenges. The upside is just enormous.
And yet, for our homes to learn all this about us, they have to watch us, constantly. And this opens up a whole can of worms, doesn't it? Privacy is number one. Who owns all of this deeply personal data your home is collecting? What are they doing with it?
Then there's cybersecurity. I mean, if your home can be hacked, your entire life is suddenly exposed. And on top of that, you have the practical problems. These systems are going to be expensive at first. And then there's that classic tech headache of just trying to get devices from different companies to actually talk to each other without a problem.
So, what does all of this mean for the people who are actually out there designing the spaces we're going to live in tomorrow? Well, this whole technological shift has some pretty profound implications for the way we even think about architecture.
And this right here is probably the most important takeaway for any designer or architect watching. We have to stop thinking about this tech as just some add-on. AI isn't another appliance you just plug into the wall. It's a foundational layer of the home itself, just as fundamental as the plumbing or the electrical grid.
The new architectural blueprint is dynamic. It's alive. Imagine using the data from the AI to design a floor plan that perfectly matches how a family actually uses their home, not just how they think they do. It means we'll be designing walls and ceilings and even furniture with invisible sensors baked right in from day one. It leads to a design process that's all about hyper-efficiency and sustainability. And ultimately, it could allow for truly adaptive spaces. Think about a wall that silently moves, or a room that changes its entire function based on the time of day.
At the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. We're moving away from building static structures and toward creating dynamic, living environments. The home of the future isn't just built to last, it's built to learn. And that leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. As we start to embed this incredible intelligence into the very fabric of our living spaces, the biggest challenge we're going to face probably won't be a technical one. It's going to be a human one. How do we design these new, thinking spaces to not just be smart, but to truly, genuinely feel like home?
So, what if your home knew what you needed, even before you did? No, I'm not talking about a house that just follows your commands. We're talking about a home that anticipates your every move. A home that feels less like a machine and more like a partner. This is the future of living, and today we're going to dive into what makes a home truly intuitive.
Let's be real for a second. How many times have you found yourself yelling a command at a little speaker or realizing your smart device is basically just a glorified voice-activated remote control? Yeah, that feeling of frustration, that's the exact problem we're going to unpack and solve today.
You know, to really understand where we're going, we first have to get a clear picture of where we are right now. So let's break down the limitations of today's not-so-smart home.
The difference, and you can see it right here, is absolutely fundamental. Today's home is totally reactive. It just sits there and waits for you to tell it what to do. But the intuitive home of tomorrow, it's proactive. It learns your patterns and it acts before you even think to ask. It completely shifts the effort from you to the home itself.
Now, this massive leap forward is all powered by one single, game-changing concept, anticipatory AI. This is the breakthrough that's set to completely redefine how we live with technology in our homes.
So what is it exactly? Well, think of anticipatory intelligence as an AI that graduates from being a good listener to being a brilliant mind reader. It's a system that's literally designed to learn your habits, understand context, and then proactively manage your home to create the perfect environment, all the time.
And here's a peek behind the curtain at how it actually works. It's this constant, invisible cycle. The AI is always observing your routines, predicting what you'll need next, and then seamlessly adapting everything. We're talking lights, temperature, your home security, even energy usage. It's a system that truly never stops learning. Okay, so that all sounds pretty great in theory, right? But what does it actually feel like to live in a house like this? Let's walk through a pretty typical day in an intuitive home. Just imagine this. About 30 minutes before your alarm is set to go off, the lights in your bedroom start to slowly brighten, mimicking a natural sunrise. The thermostat has already kicked in, raising the temperature just a few degrees so it's not a cold shock to get out of bed. See, the house is waking up with you, not just for you. All right, now picture coming home after a long, stressful day. As you pull into the driveway, the house already knows you're there. The entryway is lit up, the climate is already adjusted to your favorite evening temperature, and maybe your favorite chill-out playlist starts to play softly. The house isn't just on, it's genuinely welcoming you. And as the evening starts to wrap up, the home actually helps you wind down. The lights all throughout the house begin to dim, shifting to a warmer, cozier tone. The temperature cools down for a perfect night's sleep, and of course the doors are all checked and locked, and the security system is armed. All of this happens automatically, without you ever touching an app or saying a single word. And look, this isn't just about cool tech tricks to show your friends. It's about real, tangible improvements to your quality of life. As you can see here, we're talking about the ultimate convenience, seriously enhanced security, next-level comfort,
optimized energy use, and a kind of deep personalization that makes your home truly 100% yours.
But this revolution goes even deeper than just user experience. It's fundamentally changing how we think about the very structure of our homes. We're talking about integrating intelligence into architecture and design, right from the ground up.
So AI is no longer just some add-on you buy at the store, it's a core piece of the actual blueprint. Architects can design spaces knowing that an AI is going to optimize them for how people actually move and live. Lighting becomes this dynamic, living system that adapts to you. And sustainable design, it works hand in hand with the AI to get to maximum efficiency.
There's this quote that just perfectly captures the whole idea. The smart home becomes a living extension of its occupants. It's not about a house just crammed full of gadgets. It's about creating a habitat that is deeply, truly connected to the people inside, a real extension of yourself.
So where does all this lead? I mean, this is really just the beginning of a massive shift in how we interact with our most personal spaces.
The next wave could see our homes become active partners in our health and our well-being, monitoring vitals, adjusting air quality, creating environments that are proven to reduce stress and improve focus. They're going to become true personalized sanctuaries.
And all of that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As this technology gets better and better, our homes are going to anticipate our needs with incredible accuracy. So when our homes know us better than we know ourselves, how will that fundamentally change not just our comfort, but the very way we live our lives?